What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and more details pouring out that look very bad for rookie armorer Hanny Gutierrez Reed, and everybody else on the set. It's now it has now been confirmed that the cast was using these props as to fire on cans, and we now know who actually loaded that weapon. And should be pretty interesting for you. If you're appreciating my coverage on all this, please do leave a like on the video. And if you haven't yet, there's a red subscribe button down below. I would greatly appreciate it. I know you might have to create an account on YouTube or whatever, but I greatly appreciate it. Or if you're watching on BitChute or Odyssey, make sure you subscribe there as well. It helps a ton, and I greatly appreciate it. Pacing up and down and talking animatedly on her phone, rookie armorer Hanny Gutierrez Reed was seen for the first time since the prop she loaded was used by Alex in a terrible accident. She looks exactly like I thought she might. Gutierrez Reed, 24, has fled Santa Fe and was found at her dilapidated Bullhead, Arizona home by DailyMail.com, where she declined to speak about the incident. She's going to get in trouble. I'm almost certain that she's going to get charged with like negligent deletion at this point, right? Exclusive DailyMail.com photos show a worried-looking Gutierrez Reed pacing outside her home and speaking on the phone before dashing back inside and refusing to answer the door. Gutierrez Reed was named on Friday as a person who actually loaded the vintage prop. That's a startling revelation. She's going to get charged. And now you start to ask questions. Was this done on purpose? A call sheet obtained by Daily Mail names the 24-year-old as the film's assistant prop master and armorer, overseen by prop master Sarah Zachary. She also appeared in a photo posted by Hutchins to her Instagram page showing the whole crew 2 days before the incident. According to a warrant, the Colt was one of 3 left on a table by Gutierrez Reed. According to the call sheet, the crew was rehearsing a mock situation inside the church building. That is a rough-looking house. Rough. Oh. That's just a garage we're seeing, I think, right? Not attractive, in my opinion. Co-star Jensen Ackles, Sven Tremors, and Travis Hammer were also on the scene, numbered 121, alongside stunt double Blake Teixeira and stunt coordinator Alan Graff. Ackles spoke about the training for the film a week before the on-set incident. The actor, who frequently used these type of things, playing Dean Winchester for 15 seasons on Supernatural, regaled a crowd of fans with an anecdote about the brief training for Russ before the accident. What's really interesting, though, is now we know detectives find loose and boxed ammo and a fanny pack with ammo on set. Boxed and loose ammo. This is like absolute insanity. Why was this ever on set? Give me one reason why this stuff was on set. I mean, multiple sources connected to the set of Rust told TMZ that the same Colt that was used had been used recreationally. The source claimed that some crew members would go off for target practicing using real ammo, and some believe the live round from those practice sessions found its way onto the set, except that they found more than that. Another told TMZ that live ammo and Blake's were being stored in the same area on the set. Why would you even have live ammo on the set? It feels like, now, hey, look, I don't have a fancy title like armorer, okay? But it feels like job number 1 would be to never have live rounds on set. That would be a fireable offense. Now, Hannah Gutierrez Reed was named on Friday as the person who loaded the vintage Colt, which was being used in that scene. According to the warrant, the Colt was one of 3 left on the table by Gutierrez Reed and was handed to Baldwin by British Assistant Director. So if there were more, like she literally just made a mistake, maybe? Didn't know the difference between a live and a blank, which you should easily be able to do simply by weight, even if you're not looking at it. Halls had faced previous criticism for his safety on set, with a crew member describing his attitude as flippant. One crew member who spoke on the condition of anonymity for fear of being blacklisted told the Daily Mail that he'd worked with Halls on 2 similarly low-budget sets in LA in 2019, where a revolver and Glock were used, and others involving other items. Each morning, they'd have a meeting to discuss safety issues, but he said Halls didn't think they were needed. He was very flippant about my insistence on having safety meeting about the weapons on both sets. He said the crew member who asked to use the pseudonym Jay and has worked on films for 10 years. He would rush through and say, "All right, guys, be safe. Let's get to work." I just, I don't understand. It's absolute insanity. The negligence of the person who was supposed to check the weapon on site did not do this. The person who had to announce the weapon was on set did not do this. The person who should have checked the weapon before bringing it on the set did not do it. The negligence from the person who was supposed to check the weapon on site did not do this. The person who had to announce it did not do this. Talking about a series of mistakes. And just, ultimately, Piers Morgan saying now that the more information that gets revealed about the Alec Baldwin incident, the more culpable he looks for being executive producer of a chaotic, dangerous mess. Last week, Hollywood actor Alec Baldwin, we know was already involved in this, outspoken English broadcaster Piers Morgan has weighed in on the tragic news, asserting that the incident was an accident waiting to happen on account of Baldwin's own neglect as executive producer for the movie he's also starring in. Before openly sharing his opinion on the incident, Morgan notes that Alec thinks fellow Americans should only be allowed to exercise their constitutional right to own weapons if they go through lengthy, stringent procedure to ensure they are fit and proper enough for citizens to possess this. The English broadcaster goes on to quote Baldwin, who in the past interview said, "In favor of people owning weapons, but I am in favor of there being the most arduous process for them to qualify." What's more, Morgan prefaces the column by saying, "The more we learn about Alec's incident, the more culpable he looks for being executive producer of a chaotic, dangerous mess run by amateurish cowboys that made the incident an accident waiting to happen." Piers also explains that he did initially show his support for Baldwin as social media rushed to blame the actor. If it is true that Alec was handed a prop containing live rounds, then the focus of people shouldn't be on the guy who innocently used it without knowing, but whoever gave it to him. As more evidence has piled up following the tragic event that took place last Thursday, Morgan's initial reaction has somewhat taken a turn. However, quote, "The more we've learned about this appalling incident, the more questions have been raised about Baldwin's own culpability for the chaotically dangerous and amateurish working culture on the set of Rust that led to the incident." He continued, "What we know so far from affidavits given to PD and search warrants is that it occurred after Baldwin and members of the production crew were setting up a scene that required a cross draw. It also said that, all of these other issues that we already talked about, the cold, people calling it a cold pew-pew. Specifically, Morgan explains that it's Rust's chief electrician, Serge Svetnoy, who blames the producers for the passing of the director of photography, who accused them of negligence and unprofessionalism for the poor handling of the weapons on the set. I don't even, for me, it just seems so bizarre to me. It seems absolutely insane to me that all of these just idiotic decisions did lead to somebody losing their life. I would argue that there should be charges at this point, now that we've learned more. And I don't think that Alec Baldwin should be immune to them, since he was the one overseeing it. Certainly the armorer should be in huge trouble. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.